Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please subscribe below. I make cozy art content that I think you'll enjoy. Today's video is about me trying to paint white in watercolor. Over time, I've come across a lot of techniques for painting white, especially while looking for ways to improve my watercolor skills. I thought it would be fun to share my experience as I tried them in painting. As always, I started with a pencil sketch, but when painting white, I think it's even more important to keep your lines light, lighter than I would keep them for other watercolor subjects. Pencil lines are grey, black, and against white petals, they can feel harsh and distracting. So I lightened my sketch as much as I could while still keeping it visible enough to guide me. From my previous video, where I analyzed all my artwork from the World Watercolor Month Challenge, I realized I really needed to practice more with painting white. In a lot of those pieces, I ended up reaching for gouache, white gel pens, or white watercolor to get the effect I wanted. Basically, I wasn't really painting white in watercolor, I was covering it up. And painting white objects felt like a nightmare. So I decided to finally work on this and improve my techniques. The flower center is yellow, so I began there using a wet on wet technique, but not the full page everything is wet kind of technique. I just applied clean water to the center area, then dropped in yellow. Because the water was already there and the space was clearly defined, the color stayed controlled and didn't spill into the petals. This kind of controlled wet on wet is especially helpful for white subjects where even the tiniest bleed can be hard to fix. Also, I did some research and there are a few ways you can paint white objects in watercolor. For this video, I decided to paint this composition which I found on Unsplash, credit to the photographer. The full photo had a bigger composition, but I cropped it down to focus just on one main flower in the bowl. It felt easier for me to try this way. Next, I moved on to negative painting. I've realized that when painting white, negative painting is just as important as painting the object itself. By painting the background and areas around the petals, you help define their shape and bring out the white more clearly. Even using a slightly darker tone in the background can completely change how the whites appear. For example, my petals here were just paper white at first, but once I started making the background blue, they suddenly had more depth and definition. From there, I worked on glazing, adding light diluted layers of color to change the tone of the white. This is where warm and cool grays really come into play. A warm gray is made by mixing two warm tone colors that are opposite in the color wheel. For example, a bit of red with green. A cool gray comes from mixing cooler tones like blue with a neutral and watering it down a lot. Like water it down. Like it's just you are using just water for the painting. These temperature shifts are so useful, as I've mentioned in countless of my videos now, that the warm tones and the cool tones give a three-dimensional feel. They give like a sense of depth to the painting. Of course, your grey doesn't have to literally be grey. You can use very watered down yellow, blue, or even orange, just keep it light. In my petals, I used a warm watered down mix of brown and yellow for some areas, and in others, I glazed with a diluted blue to create cooler shadows. I ended up using glazing for almost everything in this painting. The petals, the towels, the bowl. It's a slow process of building up layers, starting light, letting it dry, then adding another tone on top. And as the background became more saturated, deeper blues and a black-brown mix near the bottom, the whites started to stand out even more. This is where color theory really shows up. The colors look different depending on what they are next to, and you should always try to use the background, try to paint the background while you're painting the subject itself. I also added some darker cooler grays in the petals where they overlapped. These shadow areas helped the lighter petals stand out and gave the flower more structure. Even though the paint was watered down, the contrast made a big difference. Through all of this, I realized something. To paint white in watercolor, you really only need two main techniques: light glazes and negative painting. Light glazes because white isn't really white. It's a reflection of its surroundings. In sunlight, it might be a pale yellow, in shade, a soft blue. You never know. Actually, you know. But yeah. And negative painting because the background and surrounding shapes define the white just as much as the white areas themselves. Everything else, controlling your watercolor, layering colors, experimenting with warm and cool tones like I did in this painting, support those two main ideas. And honestly, patience might be the most important skill of all. You have to give each layer time to settle and trust that the whites will reveal themselves as you keep working. One of my favorite parts about this piece ended up being the yellow center of the flower with hints of green, layered siennas and soft blending. I think I came close to the look of the reference photo while still keeping it loose and painterly. So that's what I learned in this little experiment. Painting white in watercolor is less about keeping areas blank and more about using color, background, and subtle shifts in temperature to make the white feel alive. And I'm really happy I finally spent the time to explore it. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Happy painting!